Our overarching vision is a future where millions of vehicles plug into a greener grid. Millions of vehicles plugging into a greener grid. That's a very exciting vision, and it's one that we're proud to be helping to bring about. So we launched this initiative to demonstrate the technology, to stimulate market demand, get at the innovation opportunities here, inform this big debate that's erupted around our energy needs and the transportation sector, and build partnerships. So here are the pieces of what we're doing, and then I'll walk through them to just give you a flavor of them. We've actually built a small fleet of plug-in vehicles. These are aftermarket Toyota Priuses and Ford Escapes. There are 6 of them in our fleet. We also have 19 regular non-plug-in hybrids in our fleet. And this is the fleet that Google employees can use in their average work. Going to meetings, driving home, coming back, there's a whole host of things. We've built a group of solar charging stations. When the sun's out, you can actually charge up these vehicles using solar panels. We've been collecting data, and I encourage you to go to rechargeit.org, www.rechargeit.org, and you can see real time what kind of experience we're having with these vehicles. We did a demonstration of vehicle to grid, sending electricity from our vehicle back to PG&E. I'm going to talk about our driving experiment, which is, I'm going to announce the results of that tonight. We've made about $1 million in grants. We just came back from a major policy conference in DC where we're trying to engage the federal sector in how to accelerate the use of these vehicles. And we put out a call for investment proposals, and I'm going to make a couple announcements about those tonight as well. So this is Google's campus, the Googleplex, and this is a view from a helicopter, and this is a large set of solar panels. These solar panels cover 8 buildings on our buildings in Mountain View. This is also a parking structure, and these plug-in vehicles can park beneath this set of solar panels here and at a couple of other locations around the campus. This is a picture of the vehicles we've built. Nice decals. Our Recharge It logo is on there. These are our 2 co-founders, Larry Page and Sergey Brin, plugging in one of these vehicles. And if you look above them, you'll see the solar panels that form the roof of this parking structure. So when the sun is shining, you can charge these cars using the electricity that's produced. And the next photo is, in fact, the battery pack and the data logger that allows us to monitor the performance of these vehicles. And the last one is actually a television picture of an electricity meter that we used when we demonstrated this vehicle-to-grid opportunity. PG&E sent one of our cars a signal. It said, stop taking electricity from the grid, start sending electricity back to the grid. The vehicle responded. Fortunately, with all the press there, it actually worked. And the meter swung the other direction. So it was a very exciting moment. Not the first time that it's been done. I don't in any way claim that, but it was a great way to highlight, at least down the road, some years from now, the opportunities of this sort. If you go to the website, you'll see some of the data. This is one of the vehicles, on its many thousands of miles being driven by Googlers, as we call them. It's averaging about 73.5 miles per gallon. Down below, you'll see some data on a very short trip where I think it's saying over a period of an hour, it was actually at 124 miles per gallon in a very short trip. So lots and lots of data is being collected by these data loggers in the back. Now, I have to tell you, these are real employees who forget to plug them in, who do jackrabbit starts and stops, do all the wrong things. So for us, this is to some extent a real-world test of how these perform. But what I really want to emphasize tonight is we did something recent called our driving experiment. And this was based on data from the federal government that really gets at how the average American really drives. Different from actually how EPA does its estimates of fuel economy. But we actually had 2,000 unique pieces of this driving experiment, and we actually, using 10 vehicles, 4 plug-in hybrids that you'll see, and 6 other regular vehicles, we actually went out and drove these cars through their paces through 2,000 different unique driving segments based on this data. We hired professional drivers to do this. These are the people that otherwise drive around your neighborhood taking pictures for, what is that Google product called? Street View. What is it? Yes. So we hired them to actually go out and drive these vehicles in this experiment and really get at what a real world experiment would show about the performance of these vehicles. And it's interesting. The Toyota Prius hybrid, the non-plug-in, coming in around 48 miles per gallon, but look at what it gets, almost 100 miles per gallon through this pretty rigorous driving experiment, again, simulating the average American driving. And the Ford Escape hybrid, roughly 50% better, from 32 miles per gallon to 50 miles per gallon. So it gave us a sense that there's real opportunity here. I've talked to some of the major car companies, and they've actually said to us recently, we can do better than that. So that's great, and we're very excited about this. But this gave us at least some sense, and hopefully the public some sense, that there's a real there, that moving even high-mileage non-plug-in hybrids to being plug-ins, even aftermarket ones that we've converted, you can get these kinds of improvements. Imagine when General Motors and Toyota and Nissan and Ford come out with their own vehicles. I think it's going to be very exciting. We've done some grants recently for plug-in research and policy. I won't spend a lot of time on this, but I do want to mention that we've made one to Felix Kramer at CalCars, one to Chelsea Sexton at Plug-in America, and also a major grant to EPRI, represented here tonight as well. So this was our way of stimulating both public interest, making sure the research was advancing, getting the word out about what can be done with these vehicles. Tonight I want to announce two investments that we're making. We put out a request for investment proposals, and we got a very large number of companies who said, we have interesting technologies we'd like you to invest in. We've reviewed those. We're going to announce tonight two investments, one in a company called Aptera, which is making a three-wheeled vehicle, a plug-in, both all-electric and hybrid models. Obviously very lightweight and aerodynamic, and they're expecting initial production in October. And then one of what will be several battery investments we expect to make, because batteries are the key technology that are really going to, in many ways, make or break the emergence of this technology. And so we're making an announcement tonight of an investment in a company called Acticell, helping them move forward to bring their batteries to market. I wanted to highlight a conference we did a few weeks ago in Washington, and this was pretty amazing. There's lots of conferences, as you can see, around plug-in vehicles and around renewable energy and all these things, but we thought it was time to get the Washington, D.C. community together and really see what we could do to accelerate things in that town. And normally, these can be kind of rancorous Republicans debating with Democrats, environmentalists and debating with folks from the industry. But I'll tell you, the amount of support for plug-in vehicles from the left to the right, from the environmental community to industry, from the think tanks to the advocacy groups, it is quite extraordinary. I think people really see the opportunity here. And we had members of Congress banging down our doors to come and visit, to come and speak. We had the president of Ford in North America, the president of General Motors in North America. It was very exciting. And an interesting outcome of that was not only the opportunity around the vehicles and the challenges that remain with these vehicles, really taking them to scale, but I think even more was the focus on the electricity grid.